mister.
The little boy looks at you. He picks his nose.
You be careful. My daddy's a magister.
No, he's not. His daddy's a fisherman like most daddies round here. We're waiting for our friend. He went for a swim. He'll be back soon.
He went swimming all the way to Fort Happy.
Fort Joy?
That's what I said. Fort Joy. He's gonna find his mum and bring her back. That's right.
I think he's an idiot. And when he gets back, I'm going to tell him so.
I'm all right.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
As long as you stay put, you'll be safe.
What happened here? A dying shark lies gasping on the sand, bleeding from the mouth and gills. It turns its dark and soulless eyes to you. Its bloody gills open in search of water, but find only air. It gasps in the air, struggling for the breath to speak. Its own blood froths at its mouth.
No, die here. Monsters in the water. Monsters in the deep. Monsters bigger. More and more growing.
It looks at you with its cold, flat eyes as if to say, do what you will. Then it turns away and gets back to drowning in the bloody sunshine. You are you, but more. You are another, but not. You look to your hands, your belly, your feet. Flesh you don't know, molded into unfamiliar shapes. You cradle your aching head, where another's memories and wisdoms mix with your own. Your fingers trace a line from your head to your face, feeling not the creases of the mask, but the porous surface of new skin. You lower your arm, blink twice, and step forward in this new guise. A boy at swim. Your name is Joe. You're 9. You're brave. You're off to see your mum. A shadow moves below you. A jagged vice closes on your thigh and pulls you down. Water fills your lungs. Blood billows.
Hello, mister.
The little boy beside her looks at you. He picks his...
Hello. Cool. How did you know that?
Mister, have you seen our friend Joe?
Tell them the truth about Joe. They have to grow up sometime.
The truth hurts, but they'll get over it.
Kids are resilient. Tell them the truth.
The horror grows on their little faces.
No, that's a horrible thing to say. I bet it wasn't Joe. I bet it was someone else's leg in that icky shark.
She bursts into tears, then looks from you to her and back again, then starts crying too. After a moment, the crying subsides. Ben and Harriet snuggle into you.
You're cold. So where's Joe?
They look puzzled, but the little boy seems to accept the idea.
I think we should go home. Come on, Ben. Thank you, mister. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, mister.
They skip away, still children, but now, somehow, older than before.
Executes 24 noblemen who are in a most vile, a valiant warrior against the void.
If they got nothing to hide, they got nothing to be
Take them too early. All hope destroyed.
Paging anyone up that looks at the fun.
Is that right?
What's this? I found something. I need to dig here.
Look at that. A fresh face. And a pretty little kisser it is, too. Welcome be, Governor. Take a load off and enjoy Effie's Blunder Down Under. Good to meet you, Governor. What's your poison, then? A sip or a smoke? Aye, so it is. But not just any Druidnay. Oh no. My own special blends. Further down's the arena, see? And the gladiators are always on the lookout for an edge. I give them that edge. You could say that my darling herbs flower in the flesh and blossom in the brain. So, if you're interested, Governor, all you have to do is use your imagination. How can I make you? I don't think I follow you there. What are you after, exactly? Any means, yes. That's what I was afraid. All sounds mighty reprehensible to me, Governor. Why on earth would I do such a thing? Well, when you put it like that... Okay, you can consider it done, Governor. Come the next battle, those poor sods won't know what hit them.
What do you want? Boss is busy. Loha, you've been living under a boulder. Stick around long enough and you will. Best to get on his good side early if you're new in town. Listen up. Don't waste his time. These are explosive times. Be respectful.
Tell us what happened.
I brought you up from girl to woman, Marla. Like you was my own. This...
He lifts his right arm, showing a white bandage beneath his ribs. A wet red spot shows through.
This ain't the thanks I expected. Who sent you?
The formidable dwarf slams his fist on the side table. You hear a loud crack.
Enough! Do you know they killed Anhar? Do ya? Start talking sense or I'll take that tongue right out of your mouth and fry it for supper. Bart, Cade, get her to talk or bleed her out. She ain't one of mine anymore.
His sneer travels from the restrained dwarf to you.
And you. You better have a damn good reason for coming here.
Working for the DO, I bet.
Brave lad, all sitting here now. I hope for your sake you've got good news for me. Family matter. She's one of mine, acting like her brains are scrambled though. Came after me with a knife. Lucky for me, she caught an old wound. Scar slowed down the knife. So, how'd you make it out of Fort Joy? I've got people. They've got people. People talk. The Magisters never shut up long enough to listen. But me, I love a good story. Here's one I heard lately. A group of strangers landed on the beaches outside town. Meister Seaver's people. You one of her little seekers? Chasing down Godwoken and begging them to save us all? So, what do you want? Reckon I do. Knowing Seaver, she sent you looking for sorcerers, I bet. I could help you. But then again, you've tattled to the Magisters about us before. You betray your own often.
An unpleasant smirk twitches around the corners of his mouth.
Right. I reckon I could help you out. Depending on what you can do for me.
He gestures towards the bandage across his side.
Had a bit of family trouble lately. My girl Marla got it in her head to come after me with a short blade. That ain't like Marla. Ain't like her to pull the silent treatment either. Something's going on. And wouldn't you know it, that blade she used wasn't any normal bit of steel. Belonged to another of my people. Guy's name is Mordus. Bit of a loner, but smart as hell. I sent a few guys to go check on him, see if he knew what had got into Marla, but no one can find him. I'd like a word with the guy. Glad you see it that way. No one's seen him in a good few. I've got some people checking out his house near the tavern now, though. Tell them I sent you, and they'll let you know what they've found. Truth is, they might be glad to see you. Reckon a sorcerer will have better luck finding one of their own. Good. One more thing. Like I said, Mordus is a sorcerer. Maybe even one of the ones Seaver's after. If there's something you want to find out from him, you might want to ask before I have my word with him. Here, you can take this off my hands. More suited to your kind, really. Good luck.
Mercy, mercy.
The dog sniffs the wooden decking, like there's something wrong.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong, and it's not right. I don't know, but there's something wrong, and it's underneath the floor. Be careful down there, mister. You're not smelling what I'm smelling.
My thanks once again, stranger. With your help, I might make a breakthrough yet.
The dwarf reaches into a barrel and pulls out a fish. His knife glides through the scales, crimson guts spilling out in its wake. The innards fall to the floor, landing in a pool of dark bile. You'd expect fish to smell, but these reek.
You see the nose on my face, don't you? I bloody know it smells, and I don't care as long as it sells. And sells it does. Somehow. But the boss has found a buyer for this lot. It's to be shipped off to Arx in the next wagon, if you'd believe it.
He runs his knife through another fish and flicks the blade, sending a shower of guts to the ground.
I'd say your guess is as good as mine. Except I got the sense not to ask any questions. Now why don't you march on? I ain't been paid to wag me chin.
The dwarf turns back to his work, slicing and disemboweling fish after fish, as the blood and black bile mix and swirl around his boots. Looking at the barrel, you see that someone has scrawled Black House on it in paint. You cast your eyes around to see that every barrel headed to Arx has the same inscription.
Here, leave them barrels alone. I told you to take a hike, so scram.
This must be the place Lohar mentioned. It looks unassuming enough.
The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might mistake her for a corpse, were it not for a slight twitch of her eyelids. She calmly opens her left eye, then her right.
What do you want?
The dwarf unfolds her arms and shoots to her feet.
All right, human. Right, glad Lohar ain't left us here to wither. Those brutes are taking their sweet time down there. I gotta send word soon. Who knows? Anything that gives away what Mordus has been up to. Probably got all sorts of tricks for covering his tracks, but the goons downstairs should sniff out something. That weird priest's been hanging around Lohar for ages. Now he's vanished. Poof. Those half-wits below will know more. Get to it then. But tell the lunkheads that Glenn sent you before they bash your brains in.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
What's this? I found something.
Crowbar would open this thing. Oh, you got rocks knocking around that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duda to open it for us than for us to budge by our own hands. You got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
Oh, you got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Oh, you got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Oh, you got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
There we go.
Opening,
The door's
finally.
open.
By Duna's dagger. You here to free us or kill us?
The male dwarf pauses, then gives a worried look to his companion. She shakes her head.
We're not looking to cause trouble. We're looking to end it. Did Mordus send you?
The male dwarf expels 2 lungfuls of air and glances happily at his companion.
We've only been fretting here for a few hours, but it's felt like days. That snot-nosed priest's as slippery as a snake in an oil drum.
Ain't found nothing that lets on what Mordus is up to. Only thing we managed were to close that door and get us stuck. And if there's a...
Lohar ain't gonna be pleased.
Ain't no telling where that priest has gone to. Started acting all funny not so long ago, then flew the coop. Well, at first, he was just buddying around with Lohar and the rest, you know. But then he'd start looking all sickly and run off for a day or two. Then some stranger tried taking old Lohar down, but got himself caught and tied up. Ain't no coincidence Mordus went hanging around then.
She taps her finger against her forehead.
A woman knows things. Nothing's getting past me. Best we head off then. We've got business to attend to.
Well, this won't do. If I can get stuck, then I can get unstuck.
The shrine depicts Duna, yet has clearly seen better days. Scratches and fissures deface its exterior, and its eyes have been gouged hollow. The stone is cold against your palm. If this figure once held power, it has since been depleted. You scrape your knee on the wooden floor. Nothing else happens. This shrine to Duna may have been quite the nothing happened.
Aloha will want to know of this.
You run your hands along the exterior until your fingers graze the button noted in the schematic. There's no mistaking the sound of stone chafing stone. The entrance to the chamber grinds open, filling your lungs with slightly less stale air.
Killed by sorcerers, a most vile incident. They got nothing to be valiant warrior.
You ain't gonna last much longer.
Better get out there before Maldus makes it all the way past Arks. I asked you for a man, not a note.
He takes the letter from your hands and reads it quickly, face hardening with anger as he reaches the end.
Bloody goddamn spit-sucking weasel! This is bad. Not just for me and mine. Not just for you and yours. This is bad. For everyone. Hell if I know, but it don't sound good. Seems as though Mordus wasn't mine after all. Trouble is, I don't know whose he is. Of course. That's why I haven't heard from the cave. Sabotage. Listen up, I need your help. We all do. Mordus has his hands on something dangerous. Something I was trying to protect us from. Not just my folks. The whole damn realm. Look, me and mine, we move classified cargo. Take it right off Magister ships and put it into the hands of those that will use it rightly. Trouble is, we came across something no one ought to have. Not the Magisters, not my folks, not the gods themselves. I ordered it to be destroyed. I guess Mordus, whoever he's working for, wants it for themselves. That can't happen. The less you know, the better. Trust me, my people had an operation up in the caves outside town. Good access to red ships and plenty of privacy, too. Haven't heard from them in a couple of days now. I thought maybe we'd lost the messengers to Voidwoken in the hills, but now I think it's worse than I thought. I bet my lucky left foot Mordus is in the cave. You gotta get to him before he gets his hands on that cargo. Pray to whoever you pray to that it ain't too late. Finally, someone with a little sense around here. Give me your map. I'll show you where we were operating, where I think Mordus will be. I don't want to know what'll happen if he gets what he's after.
Useless. Bloody useless.
Take some sorcery in the face, nasty
Shush it, Hound.
Pipe down. Tie your boy.
Ah, a creepy ruin. What could go wrong?
To think. Why not think big? Back off, pigeon! This is my bridge, and I don't suffer fools on it.
The enormous, unusually red troll looms over you with his fists clenched threateningly. His expression is stern, yet you can see the tiniest twinkle in his intelligent eyes.
Didn't hear me the first time, parrot?
He smiles a jagged and magnanimous grin. Each pitchfork-pointed tooth seems to threaten you individually.
We'll see. You want to cross my bridge? Look at this wreck. No taxpayer coin has touched it in a hot century.
He kicks the edge of the bridge, sending a sizable chunk of rock flying perilously close to your eye.
I'm the only thing standing between this bridge and the void. These days, everything is in decline. Well, I killed them. Nobody crosses my bridge for free, and they didn't pay the toll. Mind you, they hadn't tongues to bargain with, nor pockets for coin. But still... a troll must stand by his principles.
He rubs his leathery hands together with glee.
Sure. One regular priced bridge crossing coming right up. And I don't want to hear any whiny little baby noises about it either. I think not. Pay up, cuckoo!
His eyes narrow to glinting slits, and a deep laugh shakes his whole frame.
The competition. Take out my competition, and I could waive the usual fee. A little magpie feather named Mog. He's not fit to be a bridge keeper. He took over the other bridge across, and he's too cheap. I can't compete with his ridiculous prices. That's a little non-committal, but I'll take what I can get around here.
Grog drags a rough map in the dust of the bridge with one claw. He then spends an inordinate amount of time sketching a highly vulgar doodle of this Marge he wants you to take care of.
There. Now, for the moment, you'll need to back off. No pay, no stay.
Hello there. A fine day it is. And the finest day for a wee saunter through the trees it is too. Not even any void-woken left to spoil it. Isn't a healthy business environment just wonderful? Grog and his pathetic bridge give me just the little kick of competition I need to improve my service. And increase my prices.
Marge bats his eyelashes at you. You can't quite tell whether he's serious or not.
Oh, just the best. Just the bee's knees, really. I've made more money today than in the last month combined. Thanks to a group of magisters who were in such a hurry they didn't have time to haggle. Some sorcerer who fled by earlier, and she paid a handsome toll too. Glory, what a marvellous day. Whoa, not so fast. I do try to be nice about it and all that. But this bridge is Marge's business. Since it is such a fine day, I can let you pass at a discount if you entertain me with tales of valiant void-woken battle. Otherwise, full price. It does get a little dull out here on my lonesome, you know. No harm in passing the time with a little tale.
Marge sniffs and folds his arms, looking away.
That'll be the regular toll, so... Over you go, and be sure to appreciate the bewitching views as you cross my magnificent bridge. I wonder what old Grog is up to these days. Go on, and appreciate the fine tinkle of water beneath, the fine lichens, the hand-placed rocks.
A haughty-looking undead woman, unmasked, surveys the ground around her, seeking something. Suddenly, her head swivels, and she trains an imperious gaze upon you.
What side do you take?
Her voice is clipped and detached, with metallic overtones. It even seems to echo, as if she's speaking to you from very far away. She cocks her skull to one side with a nightmarish creak. Though her shiny visage is completely devoid of emotion, you sense confusion in her manner. confusion, and more than a little scorn.
Quick now, quickly. Do you support Divine Order or Black Ring? They most certainly are not. But so long as you do not pledge allegiance to the Ring, we can talk. Perhaps even trade. I have books, though I hate to part with them. And you, hopefully, you have something I want. Eithne was my name.
She slaps her face violently as she corrects herself, dislocating her loose jawbone and powdering the earth beneath her feet with bone dust.
I was a librarian in arts for the glory of the Order. The Ring came, burnt my library to the ground. My books, they are all I have, all I had. I had to save them. The flames. There was no making it out alive. But as the fire caught my magical scrolls, they all turned to a rain of glittering ash. I awoke covered in it. And here I stand. That would be prudent if I wanted to stay alive. Or whatever it is that I am now. Survival is not something that interests me any longer. Not in this form.
Suddenly, she leans towards you with an unnerving creak.
Enough about that. I'm travelling as I look for a particular book. A tome to teach me how to make corpses explode. Would you have anything like that I could learn from?
She scuffs one boot in the ashen dust at her feet and gazes off to the far horizon.
For my collection? None of your beeswax. I pay good money, that's all you need to know. Money. Plenty of it. That's what the living care about, yes? Have a look. Mind you don't tear any pages now. You know what I'm looking for. Come back to me if you... There must be one to be found. Do you have it? Do you have the book I seek? Do you have it? Do you have the book? What does a phoenix crave more than a flame?
What's this? I found something. I need a shovel. Do you have it? Do you have the book I seek?
Only beta trolls hide under. There's no such thing as two dominating.
doesn't look